You may ask, does acupuncture hurt? No, not really. The needles are super small. But once it enters your trigger point knots, then it starts to hurt and it reacts by jumping. But like my doctor said, that's how you know it's working. This is my story of how my depression was an underlying symptom of a serious problem in my body. In 2023, I was severely sick. I was losing weight at a rapid rate and felt so miserable, pained, and depressed. This is after being lied to about depression medication I had been on for about 10 years. The depression medicine made me suicidal. I weaned myself off of them after learning and living through these harmful side effects. Then a year later, I'm depressed again, but for a reason. My body was warning me. After seeing what doctors and hospitals had become during and after the pandemic, I refused to see a normal doctor anymore. I prayed a lot about this, asking God to give me answers to a natural healing process. The depression was so bad, and while vacationing on a cruise that year, which is my all-time favorite vacation, I begged, crying to my fiancé to take me to Canada for assisted suicide. I felt there was no future for me, and when you're depressed, you know nothing else matters in your life, not even your kids. You feel like your kids would be better off living without you. You don't think of how they would feel if their mommy was gone forever. After losing my dad to cancer at 15 years old and facing that lifetime of trauma, witnessing your daddy lying lifeless as a teenager, crying over him, then I stopped crying because one of his eyes was still opened and I wasn't sure if he was passed on or not. So I stopped crying because I didn't want him to see me cry. I should have known better than to think my kids would be better off without me. But when you're that sick, your brain doesn't function as a normal, healthy brain. So God has helped to guide me to an acupuncture doctor who specializes in Korean acupuncture. With all of my symptoms in 2023, he diagnosed me with liver blood deficiency. This was very eye-opening for me because I didn't even know this was an actual thing. But it's actually where the liver does not produce enough blood. And then it all made sense. He taught me how to eat and drink healthier and use food as my medicine because he knew I refused to be poisoned by Big Pharma anymore. 2 years later, I'm still dealing with crippling trigger point knots in my back, shoulders, and neck, and it's affecting my face to where my eyes and my eyebrows become tingly and sometimes throbbing. So this time I'm focusing my acupuncture on my knots, and he also does a liver treatment acupuncture as well. I'm learning how to heal them by stretching a lot, using warm compress devices on my neck, back, and face. My shoulders are double jointed, so this makes it even more difficult to overcome. I'm hoping that after 10 years of living like this, one day, soon I will be free from pain. It's all in God's hands. He's guided me through this much. I just need to listen and give him thanks and praise.